bad. I mean, heck, I was playing in hit my son's age group, and we moved up a level in the difficulty, so that was pretty good. Felt good about it.
Wait, your son's age group,
Yeah, so 26,
and you're 50?
59.
Oh,
But when you play in these tournaments, you have to play to the lowest person's
Really?
age group.
what's the lowest they go?
9, I think.
You must be good.
Okay, Jeff.
Yes, sir. Depends on which
Okay.
Jeff.
Jeff McIntyre.
We don't see you on the TV with the that we're facing.
Oh, right, yep. No, I understand.
We
I
don't
was
see you on the
just
one behind
doing
you.
one
There you
thing.
go.
There you go.
There we go.
How you doing, Niles? Good haircut.
Good, how about you?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got, all right, Jeff, Beck, Jeff, Mac, Tim, Debbie, John, Preston.
Now we can begin.
Oh, and now I gotta put Pat in the middle of it.
Pat, what's up?
Good evening.
All right, we ready to start? You good, ready to go?
What's that?
Yep, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, now I can see the guy. Okay, today is April 3rd, 2024. It is 7:04, bringing the Parks, Streets, Recreation Board call to order. Next meeting is May 8th, 2024. The citizens we have here, I think you guys are here specifically for the agenda item, is that correct? Yes, okay, yeah, you guys are first thing in new business. Okay, otherwise, there are no other citizens here. Approval of minutes, I think we have the February, we got the February minutes?
We'd already approved the February minutes. It's the March minutes that I didn't receive. So
Yeah, Terry
I
was
sent an
doing that.
email earlier
Wasn't it, Terry?
I think
seeing
Terry
if somebody had them.
Terry did take notes.
Yeah,
Terry
I
did.
think Terry did.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so we'll
So-
talk with him.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll skip approval of minutes. We jump right into new business, and for the ISCON, is that how you pronounce it? Yes. So yeah, come on up to the table here. Actually, looks like the microphone is messed up, so pull it around to you, and name, address, and,
Can I say something before?
yes, go ahead.
Jeff, is this your last meeting on the Parks Board?
Yes, it is.
Wow, I want to say, wow, it's been a pleasure serving with you.
Yeah, you missed it.
How many years?
And you're president, and you missed it, and you're president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a
You already
pleasure serving with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Wait, how many years has it been?
you. Official 19.
Wow,
Wow.
nice
Started,
job.
One more, you get a street
started
name
back
after
in
him.
2001.
I love
Did the
it.
Parks Board for a couple of years, then did the Planning Commission, took 2-3 years off until the Parks Board, another Parks Board position opened, and jumps back on.
19 years, wow.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
That's a big deal, thank you. A lot of people don't jump in, so, thank you.
Okay, so we've got Jeff Eck, Pat Trainer, Terry Pierce, myself, Jeff McIntyre, Tim Pike, Doug McKinney, Gail Partain, gotcha, John Strong, Preston, and Niles. Forgot to do that earlier. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to you guys.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to be here again. We are having the Chariot Festival. We would like to have it just like we had it in previous years. For the past 2 years, we had it. So this year, we would like to have it on July 20th. And we want we want it on the road this time. So we would like to have road closures. And like we were discussing last year, it wasn't possible, so that's why I'm coming ahead of time, so that we, and we're not going too long. We're going within Poolesville jurisdiction. So it will be from here up to Wooten Avenue, and then back here.
Okay.
So it's just a short walk,
On one side of the road?
one side. So we're planning, he's a retired policeman, so he's going to help us with.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I think you need a,
I'll be arranging for the security of the event as well as the parade route. I'm in contact with Montgomery County Police currently to provide control
Okay,
for that proposed parade route up Fisher Avenue and back down.
okay. Is it 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour? that usually-
1 hour max.
Maybe an
because
hour.
It's a slow walk.
Okay, I was just curious, yeah.
Yeah, it's a slow
But
walk.
I need to know specific, I was just,
Because it's like a festival, so people are singing and taking their time and,
right. That sounds good.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious, just, 'cause I guess the town will probably need to put something out announcement-wise.
So, just so that you're aware, under the street closure requirements, they must advertise, and
Okay.
that includes advertising in a newspaper, at least 1 week before, but not more than 4 weeks before the event. So part of it is their responsibility to advertise,
And
under the permit as well.
Poolesville newspaper?
Yeah, what-
So you can do it in the
I
Monocle,
would say Niles.
or,
Niles.
Sorry,
would
go
help.
ahead.
Niles would definitely help you,
yeah.
with the
mhm.
with the specifics.
With the specifics, but it's just part of it for this recommendation would be just a commitment that you would need to do that, and then we could talk specifically about your options in terms of the newspaper. So you have to do it in the general newspaper, so you could advertise it in the Post or the Frederick News Post, or the Monocle you could do, and then social media posts and things like that. There are Poolesville community pages and things like that that you could request to post on and things like that.
Okay.
Can you come on up just so the microphone can hear you?
How many people are you expecting, roughly?
Like 400,
How many did you have last year?
around that much.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good.
Actually, we had less last year, 300, I would say.
Oh, well, it's growing.
Okay, with respect to the time, yes, my friend has definitely asked for, like, it'll be an hour, but then this is something that I would like to add, that if you can have sufficient room of like, more than an hour, that would be good, because this is a religious festival, and the number of devotees that are expected would be around 400-ish. But then that again is a lot, everything is again dependent upon the weather, if there is any kind of a holiday that's just coming up, not just within Poolesville, also within our own community, the ISKCON community, if there is any holiday. So we just, all the number of devotees would actually depend on that. And also we would have music and singing, and we would be singing the Hindu deity's holy name. So when you have all of that, the time can
Oh, yeah. Well,
can extend a little.
I think
So
we would rather
just-
you
So I'm-
tell us it would be 2 hours and.
So I'm just like,
maybe and it be
Yeah,
less.
build in a little cushion.
Yes, that's right.
That's all,
That's
build in a
right.
cushion, because when you're done, you can tell the police to open it up.
Yes,
Yeah, but if you hire them for an hour, guess what?
yes,
1 hour, minute later, the boys are down the road. If I was you, I would,
yes,
plan
this
for
is
two,
something.
And even pay them for two.
Yeah,
And then just like you said, if it extends, you don't have to worry about it.
And then also there would be music, and then there'll be singing, and it'll be also, yes, this is definitely the main road, but I just would want to, we would definitely be a little loud, also with all the drums and the music and the singing and the dancing. So this is just as an FYI.
Okay, yeah, but like Preston, like we were saying, I would plan for
Yes.
2, and if it falls back to an hour and a half or.
How loud do you think?
We use a lot of loudspeakers.
Oh, I just have a question. Is it not possible to have the parade and the music and the dancing around Wayland Commons instead of in the road? It just seems like that would be safer for you, a lot less, you wouldn't really need police, I wouldn't think. I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of complications and added requirements to have a parade in the road,
Very first year.
when half the road's open and half the road is somehow closed.
Well, I can address some of that if
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I wasn't present for the parade before last year, but based on what I observed, a lot of the participants were on the sidewalk, and it kind of spilled over to the roadway anyway. And I think it would probably be safer if we're able to at least close one lane in the direction that we're going, and then maybe we can switch on the way back. I know it might, logistically, it might cause some disruptions for nearby businesses and homeowners, but with the amount of people, if we're expecting 400 and 400 shows up, it would be safer for everyone instead of everyone piling up on the sidewalk and kind of spilling over the street. At times we have,
What's the time of the parade?
I believe we're starting. Yeah.
4 p.m. That's the plan. So, but we still need time to set up and stuff
Yeah.
beforehand.
But we're just saying that the road is going to be shut from here to Wooten from 4 to say 6.
And the thing is, like you said, they spilled over a little bit. So if there's actually a turn lane that runs from Tad's all the way down to Wooten Avenue.
Yeah.
So if they just took the turn lane out of play, use that, had that, the traffic could go both ways, but actually, put some cones up, separate that, the turn lane. But I'm talking, is that what you're saying? Because they kind of flowed over.
Yes.
If we gave you the whole turn lane, traffic could flow, but you would have to, see, there's a couple businesses like McDonald's, you might want to talk to them because they would lose 2 hours of people pulling in.
Yes.
So that's something you would have to do, contact those people. But if you just shut the turn lane down, flow's fine, and that would I think that would give you guys plenty of room, because I'm sure some people still would use the sidewalk, wouldn't I
Yes.
assume? On that. And then we wouldn't lose our flow through the town. They'd just have to put some cones or some barriers to make sure, nobody came into the, thing. And see, Poolesville Day, we actually shut CVS, we close it here. People can enter Wooten Avenue, but they don't come back out on yours. That's something you got to think about, is contacting the commercial people, say, look, we're going to have this closed, but you still have access. But McDonald's, they lose their access to people coming in.
Same with this shopping center here, right?
What's that?
Oh, no, they would cross down by McDonald's probably, right? Is that where you're,
No, they're saying they
They're
want
talking about starting right here, correct?
Out 5.
Well, where do you want to start at? Where do you want to start at?
You want to,
At the park here, correct?
yeah, so they go
Yeah,
out
and
5.
see,
they would kind of marshal in this parking lot, go out there, make a left, right?
yes, yeah, because see, there's the turn lane, but right across the street, there's a bump out. So they'd have to come in. So if they start at Tad's,
That's what I was
and they'd be fine, start here, and they exit that side of the park, go right into the turn lane, then you can go all the way to Wooten Avenue. I think you guys can probably work that out with the police so they could, you might have to get some cones and stuff too to kind of give it, but I think that's a very doable. And only people I would contact would be McDonald's and say, look, 2 hours and see what they can do. And they're pretty good people about it, but anytime you affect people's income, it just,
so Preston, you're proposing instead of them going out this side of the park, they
go out that side,
the
go directly.
far side?
Yes, go out that side.
Because there's crosswalk on either here and there.
Yeah, but use that crosswalk, and it takes them right over to that turn lane.
Yeah.
And then they can go all the way down to Wooten, turn around, and come back, and that gives them the sidewalk and the turn lane, but the flow through town does not stop.
Yeah, so the only,
So they're staying on this side of the road.
No,
No, they're gonna go
on the other
that
side.
side.
They
They're
still have
gonna
to
go
cross. You'd go down to the corner.
McDonald's side.
You go out and cross where the blinking light is.
But so then you'd have to shut down Cattail. If you stay on this side going down, you'd have to shut, if they stay on that side, Cattail still flows, and
What if can you do the whole thing in Wayland Commons on that block?
we just asked
We
that,
talked
they
about
said
that.
no.
Or did I miss
Last
it?
year, well, even the previous years we talked.
Well, Jeff just asked that question too about.
Yeah, and I still think it's a valid question, because I really didn't hear why it couldn't be done in Wayland Commons. I just think it's substantially safer
Yeah.
to have everything on an area where you don't have traffic. And I didn't hear a reason why that wasn't possible.
I mean, it is possible. Generally, when they do, we have this parade throughout the country, in several cities, and generally when they do it, they usually with the cart and with the participants, it's a large amount, a group, and we follow in a procession, kind of like a parade. And we're trying to not only proceed in a safe manner, but engage the participant in the singing.
In the community.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if we stay in one, if we're moving, then it you know, the loud noise and of the instruments and the singing, you know, we kind of move with that, so we're not in one place. And when we get back here, it's maybe about an hour or.
Right,
or-
yeah, I get the bump.
No, all that sounds like the perfect use of Wayland Commons. Are there children involved?
I'm sorry?
Are there children?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, brother, in a row.
Yeah.
No, but
But I think the idea is,
that's why you have the police. I mean,
yeah, that's why they had the police, and I think it's the engagement in the community,
Yeah,
right?
It's like a
It's,
tradition.
Yeah.
it's like an Easter parade. It's,
Yes,
that's
yeah, yeah.
Tradition, like,
That's what Wayland Commons is for.
following, you know, everywhere, so we just want
So,
to incorporate it here also.
Yeah. I get
This
it.
parade also takes place in Washington DC also.
Yeah.
So,
Tell me-
and in New York.
just to be clear, for the record, what you're talking about, what Preston's talking about is coming out on Milford Mill Road rather than Fife and going down.
Milford,
Okay, so we're by the empty bank,
Yeah. Milford Mill is where the,
turning left. Yeah.
it's,
By the band shell.
yeah.
oh, okay.
Then you have to go across.
Didn't know that.
We think it's a parking lot, but it's really Milford Mill Road, yeah.
I didn't know that was.
Then, Mr. Strong, you have 400 people crossing the road.
No, but
just-
It's all controls.
John just mentioned some road. Which road is this, John?
Milford Mill Road, it's by the band shell?
Right behind the
On the other
band,
side of
the,
Wayland Commons.
It's right over here, yeah, the little road. Looks like a parking lot, right over here.
But it's where the library is and
Right behind that.
right behind the band shell here on
Bank that
Wayland
closed
Commons.
over there.
Between that parking lot for the other shopping center and the band shell.
The far side of Wayland Commons from where you are now. So if you're looking,
East,
if you're, yeah,
down there near the old bank and McDonald's side, that's the side.
Band
Oh,
shell.
that's
the
almost-
reasoning for that is between the shopping center where the Dunkin' Donuts is and where Tad's is, there's a bump out on the road. So there's no,
The turn lane doesn't go all the way
it
through.
doesn't go all the way
stops,
down. It
And
stops.
then there's a yard, and then it
but
starts.
if you start at Milford Mill, it goes continuously down to Wooten Avenue. So
Milford Mill's right across from McDonald's.
Meaning for
Yeah.
the
And-
chariot, that's what. the
and if you would
problem-
want to continue over, you could go on Beale.
So think about it this way. If you go out there, there's 3 lanes, right? And you guys will just be taking the turn lane, and then that way traffic can still flow, right? That makes sense? So that's why we're saying instead of go out here, you don't have that turn lane, you go out down there, you got the turn lane the whole way. Make sense?
I gotta say, when you guys finish up, I walk out there, they can run the meeting, I go out there, you and I can go look at it real quick.
Yeah, tell me about the chariot though, like, how's that work?
Do we have any photos?
No, currently
I
we do not have.
Is it like a legit chariot?
Yes.
It's a small one, yeah.
Okay.
Currently we have a small
Yeah,
one, but the plan is to build a little.
How's it
one.
pulled?
By hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a rope.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pull it.
So
Okay.
our participants are
Let
actually
me see
pulling
if I
it.
can.
Oh, wow, okay, okay.
So
What
actually,
does that symbolize?
The king.
It's like sharing love, you know, love and peace,
Okay,
you know. It's
okay.
just- and then it's a happy mood,
Yeah,
you know, it's all about singing and
Just-
sharing.
and you said they shut down parts of DC.
Yeah,
to do the same thing.
We used to be part of the parade of the 4th of July.
Okay.
That parade.
Yeah, yeah,
We had a big crowd, people from all over America used to come.
okay,
It was a big festival,
okay.
yeah.
so I was just looking at Google Maps and what these guys are talking about. So if you use that turn lane on the other side, you would not be impacting traffic, you know, coming and going. Either you just,
Yeah.
which would be, and you also, that side of the road also has a very large sidewalk. So like you were talking about, if, you know, you're going down, whether you're in the road and coming back the sidewalk or the other way around, or it might work out, it sounds like it would work out well
Yeah.
for you.
I think the only thing you gotta worry about is, 400 people
Getting across the road, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, 400 people getting across the road, somehow staying in a lane with children and traffic, does not make any sense to me, when we have Wayland Commons and a perfectly good circuit around. I just don't see it.
400 people trying to go in that circle around in a group. You can fit, what, 6 or 8 on that walkway out there.
Did it work out last year?
Hey, do we got any
Last year
ordinances
they
you
did it
can't
going down
have a
the
parade?
sidewalk, so.
Use the walk
Yeah.
path.
So it's one long line.
Yeah.
and-
Niles, we don't have an ordinance that
Yeah.
you can't have a parade, right?
No, in fact, so what they filled out and what was in your packets is our application for a permit to do something like this.
Right. So we have the permit process. They filled out the permit.
I'll make a motion, we approve the permit, and they work out the details with the
Doesn't mean it
town
makes sense.
I'll second
and the
it.
police. And Preston, you'll be the,
Yeah, and probably, I would say for our May meeting, they should have a map, exactly what we're going to do out there.
okay.
So everybody can kind of visualize and have it on, and then the police are going to need that too. And you're going to have to show them points of where, like if you have a lot of people crossing, probably should have a police officer too there, and then down at Woot, a couple of places.
You're going to need the
too there.
controls and everything else.
Yeah.
Describe what
Black
you
and white.
Yeah, but
But it sounds like, the gentleman you've got here with you sounds like he
Yeah.
done it,
I'll-
worked.
sure, as a former police officer, he's done some traffic control, yeah?
He's been doing this for years. He does
Yeah.
this for Baltimore City.
Okay.
So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you aware that the police usually has a fee for covering?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a motion
Yeah,
and a
I
second.
talked to them last year, but we couldn't.
Oh, no, there's still discussion.
Last year because we didn't close the road.
Call the vote.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Huh? Yeah, but there's just, you're still open for discussion, so I don't want to rush a vote.
All right, anybody else got any other questions?
So when would be the next meeting, May?
May
May 8th.
8th.
May 8th?
Wednesday.
May 8th, that's the first Wednesday
So
of May.
on May 8th, you would need the exact route map of the,
Map, and probably should have how many police and stuff you have planned to
More
use.
just more details on that side of
Yeah.
it, how you would shut the.
Essentially the plan. You need to plan for how you
Yeah.
get
Talking
out
about
of
the cones, talking about who's stationed where, or not who, but
Yeah.
where, that kind of thing.
We'll have go.
Just a little more of the details. It sounds like you've dealt with this, yeah. All right, so we've got a motion and a second. Nobody else have any other questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I am.
Okay, you got
Or against.
Sorry. I just don't see, I think this is a very unsafe.
6-1.
You're for?
Yeah, I guess I said my piece.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought your hand went up late. Okay.
Okay, 6-1-0. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, and that, like you said, reach out to Niles, reach out to Preston if you have questions.
Yeah, we can follow up with the details on what we're asking in terms of the map and everything, okay? For the
Sounds
route and
good.
everything.
So back and forth emails.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
All right, thank you.
All right, jump into old business. Discussion of skate park security.
I think that's Niles, right?
All right,
Niles, you want to?
Yep.
Because you were going down to visit, I think, Rockville or something? Was it? or-
Gaithersburg, actually both were there, so we had so on March 21st, I attended a meeting of municipal staff to discuss issues related to skate parks, including security and vandalism. We had a good conversation, and I'm working with Gaithersburg to get their security camera policy, because that had come up previously. We had also discussed various staffing levels at skate parks, so there's actually a wide variety. So places like Rockville and Gaithersburg both have staffed skate parks. In fact, Rockville's is entirely staffed, so that means that the only times it is open is when there is staff, and it is completely enclosed by fences. It has cameras within the park and all of that kind of stuff, to a lot of other skate parks which are like ours in Arlington, in PG County, in Montgomery County, the county parks that are very open and sort of are like ours, not fenced and things like that. So we discussed all kinds of things. We discussed some different funding opportunity things that we're going to exchange with and looked at. Obviously, we did the program Open Space to do the work that we're going to be doing at our skate park, so I was able to share that experience. And then when it talked about the other aspect of security and vandalism, there's a couple of things that came up. One was we had a community activist, for lack of a better term, who is an older skater himself, what was referred to as legends in the meeting, who talked about reaching out to the skater community with the older skaters to help. That in a lot of these parks, they help, for lack of a better word, police sort of the activity of the younger skaters and things like that. And so that might be an engagement opportunity, something like that, that we want to look at to sort of help on these issues of vandalism and security. Granted, as Preston has said previously, most of our issues aren't with the skaters themselves. It's with the people who sort of come through, particularly at night and things like that. So that's a slightly different option. But I'm sort of working through some things with that, again, going back to Gaithersburg's security camera policy, because they did talk about in detail about what they do a little bit. They've had moments where they have used security cam footage to show incidents at the park to parents and things like that. So that's something that I would like a little bit more clarity on from a legal perspective and from an administrative perspective of how they do it. That's why I'm trying to get that policy. But that was sort of the sum of what we were discussing and how we were trying to discuss this and go from there.
Almost like,
Okay?
hey, we can't prosecute this, but we can show it to your parents?
Exactly.
You can embarrass the hell out of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so I just want to understand the circumstances in which that has happened
Okay.
and sort of do clarity that way. But it was a good meeting, and I think we met a lot of good people that have that ongoing conversation, which will be good. So,
Have we got a,
any questions?
we got a groundbreaking date on the updates to the park?
Not yet. We're still working through stormwater management with the county, and so I think we're still probably tentatively for potentially maybe the end of this year, but more likely next year, honestly. Just given everything that it is, would that be a fair assessment, John?
I would say that it would be, if it happens, it could be late this year that it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
So
going to
that's
impact the
sort of
park
where
too
we're
when
at.
that happens, because they're not going to be able to use that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
Parts of it.
it's gonna have some impact, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But we will in advance let people know when that's starting, and I've previously mentioned to the public that this is happening.
Yeah, I think the skaters are going to be ecstatic, they'll be happy to wait to use it as the stuff is getting done. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, good work.
Thanks.
Thanks, Niles.
Thank you.
Item 2, appointments to the Trails Working Group.
Yeah.
You said
So-
you had several people that volunteered.
Yeah, and I sent an email around this last week with
Yes.
all of the appointees. The attachment that I sent had all of them. I wanted to see if you guys had a chance to look at them. Do you need me to send it again? Or if you're ready to make appointments, that we could have that discussion tonight. But I more just wanted to make sure that you all had received the information and had time to look at it and all of that.
Who is
Then we
on
could
the-
go on to the next one.
I was out of town.
Who from our group is on? It's 3 of us, right?
So, yeah,
Pat.
And Gail?
And Gail.
But the
Yep.
question was, if Gail's husband wanted to be on, she would step
Correct.
off. What do you think?
Yes.
about
I
that?
think he's way more.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So what he's done down the street there, oh my gosh,
He's way
yeah.
more useful than I
Gail,
am. but-
can you move your microphone down a bit, just so that,
No, I try to avoid it. No, I'm just saying that if my husband was considered, I obviously wouldn't be involved in any voting if that's what we're doing, but I think he would be a more useful tool than I would be,
So then we
And I
would need
didn't.
another person from this group.
if that's
If
the
you'd
route
go,
we
okay,
went. But
alright.
we did have
Yeah.
a lot of applicants, so.
Yeah.
and if you're not prepared to move forward on those right now, we can certainly do it next month. I just wanted to make sure that you had all of the applicants and that we can discuss it in detail, at that time. But I tried to provide everything that they had provided to us. And just as I said in that email, just so you know, that Brian Butt will be the member of the planning commission that will be on the Trails Working Group.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, look, I think we got the emails in here.
I was out of town last week. I'm sorry. I didn't take a look at it.
I remember.
No, that's okay.
The
You want to resent then?
HTML.
I can
version, yeah.
I'll resend them in the morning, so that everybody has them.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So who are the 3 from the from the Parks Board?
Me, Gail, and Tim, but Gail is probably going to step down as
Okay.
as her husband is more than likely going to
So there
potentially be a member.
are 10 applicants that
There are 10?
Niall sent us. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
look- What is the email? 27th, I think it was?
It was.
Yeah, it was
27th?
it was like
26.
it was last
March 26th.
Yeah, it was last Wednesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday.
March-
Yeah, I pulled it up.
2/27, yeah.
All right, we can put it off a month. Or if that's okay with everybody.
Jeff's like, I won't be here. You guys can handle it next
I'm
time.
not voting on it anyway. 'cause-
Why can't we all look at it and give our
No,
top
not even
three?
that, no, because my yard backs up to the one
Oh,
trail,
that's right.
Yeah.
potential trail.
Niles, you can add me as a third member.
If Gail's husband.
Is that, I'm sorry, was that Terry?
Yeah, Terry said
sorry.
he would be the alternate
Yeah.
if Gail,
No,
if Gail gets bumped.
I just couldn't hear you there, so that's all. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna
mean-
my volume as well.
So if we wait till next meeting, we don't get the ball rolling till late May, early June.
There's,
in the group.
there's, as far as I'm aware, there's no timetable for this, for these questions. These are sort of longer range ones, so it's, that's just the way to think about it, but,
And how many community members were we talking about again? I forget.
3.
3, okay.
So there'd be a total of 7 people, 3 from the Parks Board, 1 from planning, and 3 from the community.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see, Gail.
How do we select the 3 from the community? Seeing that
It's-
we had more than 3 applicants.
Right.
Like, you
It's
can do it
totally-
off of, yeah, it's basically like Matt, you can look at Matt's resume and say, yeah, this is what he actually does.
Okay, so it's just,
You know, for a living, so maybe he should be part of it.
okay.
Yeah, we just kind of have to look through them and maybe decide based on their background who's the,
There was 10, I only have 6 on here.
I thought I counted 10.
I count 6. but-
Oh, really? Sorry, maybe I was.
No, I'm sorry, I think I count 6, but it's fine.
Resume and
Whatever the number is, I might have, I don't know if I said a number or not, but I can reconfirm.
I think it's fine.
Okay, so we're all in agreement, we can give
Yeah.
everybody time to look at the,
Yeah, and Bup's a good choice from planning, so we should,
10.
that's perfect.
Good.
okay.
All right. All right, perfect.
Sidewalk priority list. I see we got the sidewalk list here in front of us.
Yeah, so I needed some help on this. One, figuring out it's easy to decide, okay, where do we need sidewalks that don't exist, right? That's simple. And you guys can give me more feedback on the list and I can update it. But I don't know if he printed out every single, it's easier to look at in the spreadsheet.
I will put that spreadsheet up on the screen here. Just give me
Yeah.
a second.
So what I need to do is figure out, okay, what, one, do we have basically what I did was take the list that we had put together years ago, and we had like priorities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put everything under category 1, but does that still, in category 1 there wasn't a sidewalk, and it was a way to either a park or a school, right? That's kind of like where I think
High traffic area.
we needed to take a look at. So on sidewalk priority list 1, I have, I won't go through every single one of them, but, most of the time it's one, it connects part of the town, like Fisher Ave from the town line up to Hirschberger Lane, right? That's where a sidewalk is needed to connect the part of a town that's not connected. But then, like Norris Road over here by the school, West Willard between Fisher and Wooten, right? Update sidewalks on both sides of that. That's a high traffic area walking to school. So those are all kind of self-explanatory, right? But then, all right, what about Westerly, Westmont? Do we, both of those neighborhoods don't have sidewalks? Do we talk about the major roads? And then the courts, we kind of put in a category of all its own, I think it was category 3 or 4. We don't necessarily, you can get away with not having a sidewalk, although they should have sidewalks, right? I think everywhere in the town that you can walk should have a sidewalk. But I think where we need the most help, and this is where I think, we're going to have some homework, is the maintenance priority list. So we have the priority list for where we need sidewalks. Now we need to make the priority list for what sidewalks need maintained or updated or fixed, right? We can rely on Preston and his crew to give us some information, but I think we need to walk some of these areas and see, hey, okay, I know there's a lot of buckling in Tama, right? So we can either divide and conquer, or, go out in pairs, or just say, hey, we're gonna knock this out over the next, couple of meetings, walk some of the neighborhoods, that have sidewalks, however you guys wanna do it, and then we can,
Patrick, if I can interject.
Yes, sir.
Tama 2, we're currently marking those up for grinding and also panel replacement.
right. So they-
And that,
See the spray, good.
yeah, and that was based on resident concerns and also our own observations as well. So that was some direct feedback as well.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to get that from residents as well. That's the other thing I wanted to jump in and say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we mentioned that last week, so we can say Tama 2, we can put them as a priority 1 on the list, but they're already getting done, right? So we just need to identify, I know Tama and Tama 2 are probably the ones that probably need it the most, is they're the older neighborhoods that actually have sidewalks, I would say, but I think we still need to walk some of these other areas just to kind of get a feel for what needs fixed, right?
Can I just ask a clarification? So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, the purpose of the grinding, if one slab has lifted up or one slab has receded, then that is no longer ADA compliant. So somehow you have to
Level?
level it out, yeah, thank you, so that if a wheelchair needs to get along there, then they don't,
But it's gonna
If it-
pop up
if
again,
it-
though.
If it has over a 1/4 inch differential, then it's not acceptable. Okay, so that some of these can be ground down a little bit.
Right.
To get the slope and take out the 1/4 inch. It may not, it will alleviate that problem. Then other portions, when it's even greater than that, then sometimes the panels have to be removed. Because you can't get-
Remove the panel, cut out the roots.
The root cause.
oh, yeah, the root, oh,
It's caused by root
That's what's
heave.
pushing those panels
yeah,
out.
yeah,
It's called by root heave.
Yeah, so that's, the roots are heaving
right.
the sidewalk, so that's where I think we need to identify that area to figure that out, right? So the priority list, I mean, I'd love the feedback from you guys on where you want to see some of these, where we need sidewalks, but then, also where we need to, fix the sidewalks that already exist. And so, I think from a priority standpoint, obviously, I think, like I said before, schools and parks, right? And I'm also including
Getting
areas that
to
have.
Fisher, like getting to.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
And I'm considering, hey, our sidewalks on both sides of the street, right? We have access on both sides of the street, not just the one.
Preferable, yeah.
Just like if you were building a new development now, right? It would have to have
Yes.
sidewalks on both sides of the street. So how do we prioritize that? How do we get that done?
Jeff, what's a 5? I forget how we rank those.
I think,
The 5s are ones that were good, I think, were in good condition the last time you did this.
yeah, exactly.
So
It
we
was-
should zero on the 1, 2s, and 3s then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to divide those up and,
Well, those are the areas where we basically need sidewalks. Where there aren't
I thought
sidewalks.
you said we have to go out and look again.
We can, if you guys have any input, we should move one from the other, right? But I think where we need to have eyes on is the stuff that needs to be fixed,
Okay, gotcha.
right? Because we can kind of look at a map and say, hey, this doesn't have a sidewalk.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick, another thing is that, since we are the Tree Town USA type of thing, we have a lot of trees. Now they truly are starting to mature. So we're going to have, like we repave roads at a certain time. We really are going to have to address sidewalks on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I think that's part of this exercise, correct me if I'm wrong, Niles, right? So that's why we need to say, hey, right now Tampa
Yeah.
2 is being done. What's the next neighborhood that needs to be
Yeah.
done? What, you know what I mean?
So-
Along with the
So
street
just-
paving.
And once again, we're going to do Tama 2, but 4 or 5 years from now, that's how fast it's going to change again.
Right.
So this is not a 10-year fix.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Like, I think we had to have, just like we have a street repaving matrix, right, for lack of a better word,
Yes.
we need to have a sidewalk resurfacing,
Budget item.
yeah, make it a budget item and have it
And-
where it's,
And that's the goal. That's what Wade and I have discussed is sort of creating a cycle in which we're doing these, like we do do the roads,
Yeah.
so that we can identify these things over time.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of it. Some of it is, and we'll talk about more about immediate stuff in a moment, about on West Willard and such, and Wooton in that area. But in terms of both now and in the future.
Gotcha.
Well, Niles does, there's quite a few areas where there is not a sidewalk on either side of the road.
Correct.
Does the town already own an easement or some part of the property in between the homeowner's yard and the street where a sidewalk could be placed?
So
Generally,
the short
yes.
answer is it depends. Right, John?
Yeah, it's generally, yes, there are it's not an easement, it's part of the right-of-way. So that's in place. But there are some, the older homes, many of the pieces of property that haven't been subdivided since the 70s, they do not have they have what they call a prescriptive easement, which means 5 feet off the edge of the pavement is all that the town would be able to maintain. The rest is up to the,
Oh, because the sidewalk has to be already 5 feet.
yeah.
That is-
So you can't put a curb in and. it's-
Right.
So in the past, such as along Fisher Avenue, the town has been able to acquire easements for a sidewalk down, so that would have to take place. And when we discuss the West Willard project sidewalk, we'll talk about easements that have to be acquired for that, too.
Yeah.
Does acquiring an easement require funding?
You need to do a survey of the property and also develop the documents. So, yes, there would need to be some funding involved. Yeah. And, of course, the design of the sidewalk also.
Yeah. That's, to me, like a priority would be, I try to focus on stuff that we actually own as a town, right? Like, I definitely think, Elgin Road, both sides should have a sidewalk coming from Elizabeth Delight and Brightwell. And they should be, you shouldn't be walking right along that street.
Right, so
But that's a state road.
that's a state road,
Right.
and also the right-of-way is prescriptive on the western side of the roadway there.
Right.
Because those are older homes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so we have these areas where we think they should definitely be fixed, but we don't have any control over it.
So my recommendation is to develop your list of what you want to do, and then toss it back to Niles and I, and we look at it from a right-of-way issue and determine which ones are.
So we can include Elgin Road then?
You could
We'll put it
on the
there.
list, and then we can come up with a list of another
Or
category.
I can just kind of put an asterisk that says, hey, it's
Yeah,
not town-owned kind of
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Niles, you agree with that?
Yes. I agree with that. I think that's the way to go, because then we can drill down in detail. So some of it will be what are you prioritizing most, and then some of it will be what is most practical, and we can sort of merge those two together. If that makes sense.
Because you're going to run into certain, I'm going to give you just a quick one. On the sidewalk off of, not Bud,
No.
coming out of.
North?
I'm sorry, coming out of Westerly Grove. As you come out of Westerly Grove and you go down the roadway down there, to put a sidewalk in there it's going to be difficult because of the contours of the ground.
Yeah.
You may have a right-of-way, but there's a drainage swale that runs down through the roadway there. And getting on the other side of that, the sloping of the ground it's 2 to 1.
So that's where that little soccer practice field is.
No.
And there's already a paved kind of sidewalk there.
Bodmer. I'm sorry, Bodmer.
Yeah.
On Bodmer, down to.
Bodmer at West, you mean at West Willard?
Yeah. Coming
There is-
out of West Willard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right on there. Once you go down there, it like slopes immediately down to the swale.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a tot lot right there.
That's on.
That's further down. That's further down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But originally there was a couple town managers ago, there was talk of getting a grant from Safe Routes to Schools
Oh,
to
yes,
do
yes.
that.
Yeah.
But its practicality, it was not.
Yeah, it would require a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with that, portion of Fisher between, Hirschberger, in the town limit. But I do think that should be connected at some point. It's just gonna require funding and all that good stuff, so we put it in there. I mean, some of these, like there, we have in priority one, I need to adjust, like for example, Whitaker Road, that's a side street between Hempstone and Wooton. I'm sure you have kids on there that need to walk to get to Wooton to walk to a bus stop or whatever, but that, I don't know if that necessarily would be a priority one, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, there's just no sidewalk there at all, so that's why it was in there. So I think I need to, we as a body need to go through and make, okay, these folks that are, is these priorities priority one, or should we adjust? And I mean, you can make the argument, hey, there's gonna be kids in Whitaker, they need to get to Wooton Avenue, like, there should be a sidewalk there, but is that still priority one, right? Or should that be a priority two item? So we can make adjustments there. So, if you have if Niall sent the spreadsheet out to everybody, we can give your input and, we can.
And if it's easier, we can do it either you each can have one, or if, I think most of you have Gmail, we could do it as a Google Sheets and share it, and you can make edits in it directly in real time. So we could try that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, we can do that, whatever works best for everybody.
Yep.
But, I think up at the top here, like, I just think, to me, anything near a school and anything near a park should be a priority one. That's just my.
Yeah, for sure.
And then however you guys want to do that in terms of maintenance, you can kind of think, because I do think.
For that, I think the important thing is current condition, and so that's where the most important thing goes from there.
Which is
Does that
why
make
I think we
sense?
need to have eyes on.
Yeah.
And work with Preston's crew. We can always get, set up a time. Like, we're getting to that time of year where we usually do like an hour or so meeting before we actually meet. Do that over the next 3-4 months, and we can really, kind of build out that list and have that ready to go.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
Yep.
Thanks for doing that, Pat.
Niles had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
We talked a couple meetings back about the Willards, they wanted to have Willard Commons.
Yes.
Was there any follow-up discussion on that?
So
outside of
the
our-
ultimate
outside of our meeting?
the ultimate discussion and the ultimate approval by the commissioners was Willard Green, based, I think, on your suggestion.
Yeah.
That's
that was
what I was
us.
just wondering, I hadn't heard.
That's Parks Board
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
their thing.
no, yeah, yeah. No, that was what was approved by the commissioners.
Cool, okay, yeah, just glad,
Yeah.
thank you. Anybody else got anything else they want to bring up before we jump to Preston?
So we have one other thing that we want to
It's not on
talk
here.
about.
Okay, the one
Yeah.
over on West Willard.
Oh, yeah.
And this is right by the high school.
This is requested from the principal,
Well,
correct?
there's two of them, John, right?
There's two things. So let me just, before, as John is sort of getting everything ready, there are two things to mention. So one was our previously requested by the commissioners thing of having a sidewalk near the corner of Fisher and West Willard going down. So that's what John's going to talk about. And then the second thing is this morning, some of the commissioners and others met with the principal of the high school, and he's talking about wanting to do a crosswalk somewhere just south of the main entrance to the high school. And also, there's access issues around the high school. We talked a little bit about this with the priority list, but we'll talk about that further with John as well. Did I summarize it for you, John?
Yep. You want to do the West Willard first, Niles?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this came up as part of completion of the sidewalk project. The town now owns West Willard Road, which in the past we didn't, which created all kinds of issues. We're there now. Okay.
And from where to where, John?
You know where?
White House.
This is the corner lot. You know where the bank drive-through is?
Sure.
it goes up to the bank drive-through. We have the sidewalk to the parcel that we need to get permission from, which is this corner lot, this big corner lot here. So, there'll need to be a couple of easements acquired, and,
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not clear on how much of West Willard the town owns.
we own all the way to the town limits. From West Willard at Fisher Avenue,
Yeah.
all the way out to town limits.
And where is that?
Past the tot lot, you know, the new tot lot?
The road
Down
itself.
You know
Past
where
that.
the Bricken property is?
Sure.
Okay,
Oh,
to
okay.
the end of the Bricken.
All right, okay, thank you.
Yeah. But this is the beginning of West Willard at
This is
Fisher.
at Fisher.
Fisher and West Willard.
Where the gas station is.
John, where's the carriage house? The little, small?
Carriage house is right here. The smaller building.
What am I looking at right there with the lines there? Right where your hand is. No, come back this way.
Here?
Oh, right there, where your finger is.
Yeah, this is the the existing property line.
No, the dark black lines.
Black hash marks.
One looks like a piano.
Black vertical line.
The piano keys, right here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crosswalk. There's a proposed, there's an apron here.
Versus
Okay.
that.
I thought it was existing, okay.
Okay.
I see that.
That's the proposed. I got
This is
you.
proposed. The reason that it dances around a little bit is there's power poles in the way, so we had to kind of get it around a little bit to get past the power poles. We'll have to get there's a guide wire that will interfere with it, so we'll have to get what's called pedestrian guide wire put in there, just kind of up and broken.
Oh, I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah. But there's two easements that will need to be acquired, and we're working on that right now as far as getting the documentation together for that. But this will complete this sidewalk along this side. It does two things.
That's a commercial property though, right?
This property here, it is in the commercial zone. Whether it's used for a commercial property or a private house,
Okay.
it varies.
But it's a commercial zone. I got
It's
it.
commercial zone, right. This will also allow the students from the high school to now, instead of walking through the parking lot of that business and through the bank parking lot, they will have the ability, whether they will or not, to walk down along the roadway and stay on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And use that crosswalk right there.
And there's two
No,
different
there's
crosswalks that.
Because that's
This
the
is a new
entrance.
crosswalk just across this apron.
Yeah.
Okay, but it'll also give them the ability to use the Fisher Avenue road at the present time. If they choose to go towards Bassett's restaurant area.
Yeah.
I know some of the kids go to the Liberty gas station.
Correct, they like the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the crosswalk, the lines, those 6, 8 lines right there, yeah, that's the one that will take you right across then to where the old town hall parking lot is that correct?
No.
Am I looking
No.
am I looking at the wrong spot?
That's a little bit.
Yeah, that's basically just the entrance to where the,
Out of this little
Yeah, this
parking
is
lot?
just that
Right there?
entrance.
Entrance to the lawyer's office,
Yeah.
Where that was.
1785.
Yeah, so they're gonna put a new apron in there and everything
Yeah.
else that's gonna go in there.
Is that carriage house kind of close to that sidewalk?
Carriage house is.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering where's the cross?
It's not directly across.
and so we're not going to put a crosswalk by, up further up by the
So why are we putting
cafe?
We're not addressing any of this up here. All we were given direction to do was to connect this.
Yeah,
Were
we looked
you going to talk about
10 years
this?
ago.
We will talk about that in a bit.
Okay,
That's
fine.
next.
It's a request to have a,
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So,
So it's
Okay.
it's in the way.
So the question that the commissioners have for us is,
So this is more of a thing just to
oh, okay.
gauge your.
We don't need to approve anything, right?
They just want to thank you, Pat. Thank you.
No, I'm just saying, do we need to make a motion to approve anything?
Not coming.
It's already.
No,
already done.
this was directed by, it was more to give you a sense of what we're doing and how this fits into what you've all been discussing, which is
Information.
the sidewalks as a whole, and to get your input if you had any.
Pat, we
Yeah.
brought this up about 10, 12 years ago. This issue. Seriously. But it was kind of, didn't go anywhere.
it didn't go anywhere because.
Didn't go anywhere.
There's a problem with the county.
There was issues.
Yeah, but now we own it, so we can get it fixed, yeah.
okay.
I think,
Again, I'll say thank you.
yeah. Because but across the street from that, is that still school that's not school property yet, no.
this-
That's the old,
The Methodist church is right here.
okay.
Yeah, so David and Sandy's, that's right there, okay.
I feel like we definitely should have one on that side too, but that's,
Over here.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
There's a couple of different.
But where
issues
would it
there.
end up, though? It wouldn't end up anywhere.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but it would,
end
you
up
can't,
You can't get
don't
it
have
all-
a connector.
I know.
Can't get it all the way to Wooton?
Again, this is a prescriptive
Get it
easement,
all the way to Wooton?
so we run into that
I don't know if we
problem.
can.
Um,
Easement.
And further up. is
Methodist Church there,
prescriptive.
and
Most of this is
Morning
all
Star
prescriptive
Welding.
along
Isn't
the
right over here on this end, isn't that K2 Cafe?
Yes.
K2
Up
is-
there, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a very popular place
Right.
for the, for the school, the high school kids.
And 2K2 already has a sidewalk leading
Yes.
into that
They do,
entrance.
but they don't have a crosswalk.
Right, but but that is just what we were talking about.
Where's
just
it
in
got to
terms of
cross to,
sidewalk.
Jeff? There's no crosswalk on the other side. There's no sidewalk.
There's a sidewalk on the K2 Cafe side.
Yeah, but you said no crosswalk crosswalk to cross the street.
I think what he's
Where would that
talking
cross
about-
to, though?
He's talking about the driveway entrance.
Oh, you wouldn't have a crosswalk on a driveway, would you?
Some places.
Well, where the bus stop is. There's a bus stop right by
there's a
Cafe,
bus stop
and there's a
right
sidewalk
here.
there.
And there's a sidewalk right there.
Yeah, but in the future, I think we definitely need a sidewalk along the east side of that as well.
East side, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's gonna take time and issues, but
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to acquire easements all the way up through here.
yeah,
I can tell you right now that there's probably gonna be, if there's gonna be any problem with locating it, it is where the old Methodist church sits.
because it's so far up.
Oh, there's
It's
no,
set so close to the road.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I just feel like the kids who walk, again, go back to my list. Where are kids walking? That's it, right?
And the sidewalk by K,
But this
is
is a
not
good-
5 feet wide.
No, but it was installed prior to the ADA.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So this is a good, I think first step, I guess, to getting that section squared away, in my opinion.
So just, this is another thing to look at when you're looking at your sidewalks. Remember that certain sidewalks are gonna be only 4 feet wide, because the ADA requirements at that point were only 4 feet. Some of them even narrower than that if it was prior to ADA even coming into existence.
Well, the sidewalk just stops there. It doesn't proceed.
Right, because again, with the prescriptive easement issue
Oh.
of the line.
So
Yeah.
prescriptive easement means the town does not own
That's
enough
right.
property to build a 5-foot sidewalk.
Right, because a prescriptive easement.
Only
think of
includes
it
5
as
feet.
From where the asphalt ends on the roadway.
Oh, the road, not the
road,
curb.
Yep,
There is no curb.
no curb, the end of the asphalt.
Yep.
It's 5 feet in. That's where
That's
prescriptive
it.
easement is.
Oh. That's narrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so if we need 5 feet for a sidewalk,
Yeah.
we can't really make it happen because we
Yeah, you
can't do a
can't.
curb and gutter there.
Yes, agreed, right.
So we need to get more of an easement, is what he's saying. So, and that's what we had to do there.
And how much
We're gonna
space is,
get here and here.
how much space is typically between the outer edge of a 5-foot sidewalk and a curb?
2 feet.
Okay.
That's, the standard section is, you got your 6-inch curb, then 2 feet, and then your 5-foot sidewalk.
Okay.
That's the.
Because I know in front of my house, it's 3 lawnmower swipes, so it's more than 2 feet.
Right, and sometimes it depends on how
So that's-
how the subdivision plan comes in and looks at the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you live? I don't know. which-
Heller Avenue, Elizabeth Delight.
Elizabeth Delight, yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
90s.
1990s or so.
Yeah. Awesome.
Let's snow to shovel.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, and then
I think it's gonna be
there's
great. I think that we definitely need it, so.
Yeah.
another- All right, and then there's another plan that's before you at the present time, and we're gonna talk to,
That's this?
we already talked to, the high school, the contractor about it. There's, because of the way the project's been phased, there's gonna be a limitation on access, for pedestrian movement into the front of the school. So, so the parking lot goes away, part of the parking lot goes away, and they start working also on the north side of the school, where if you go by there right now, you see black fence up all over the
It's fenced,
place.
yeah.
Okay. It
And
limits the
you can't get
ability-
in or out, there's only one entrance.
Right. It limits the ability for the students to access the property.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they're going to, the school board is gonna come back to, the school board, the contractor is gonna come back and ask for an additional ability to gain access into the property. Because at the present time, the bus drops the kids off, the out-of-town people off at the bus stop, and there's no way to get access to school easily. So they're gonna ask for an additional crosswalk, which will probably mean on the Stony Springs side that they're gonna have to put an ADA ramp in place. And that's something that the school will have to address, because it's part of their contract.
Basically, right there, right near the property, where the property ends on the Baptist church,
My guess is somewhere near
the south
there,
side.
somewhere in that general area. It may be a little further up than the Baptist church, based upon what they're thinking of right now. And a lot of this is just thinking, they've realized that they've boxed themselves into a corner.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough crosswalks over there, so
Yeah. We'll have to get some signage up there too, when they come in with the plan. Because, when they do that, it's a mid-block crossing, and we always try to stay away from mid-block crossings.
But isn't, we have.
I don't know if
these,
that's gonna be a
push
bus
button and the light comes on.
Well, that's an option, but
no.
again, is that this is gonna only be necessary probably for 2
The
years.
parking lots.
And then after that, after the completion of the school, the sidewalks will all be there. So this is a temporary situation, has to be addressed.
Jeff, that's on the flashing lights, they can be moved, put in and removed rather easily. So if we wanted to do a temporary,
I was just kind
depending
of
on what John's
referencing,
recommendations are.
because that's a mid-block crossing, and that's what Mr. Strong was
I'm saying,
mentioning.
I install them.
Yeah.
It's not that
Do
difficult.
you remember what the number was for those? Was it,
15 grand for a pair, I think.
okay, that's relatively inexpensive, yeah.
And it may be funded
By
by
three.
by the contractor to do this.
Okay.
These things have to be all worked out.
Yeah.
But they've come in and they've made notification that they have a problem. And we pointed this out to them and they
Right.
addressed it.
So nothing we can do yet until we get the
No, we
plan?
don't know what they're planning to do, but it would be a temporary situation, yes.
The crosswalk from Wooten Avenue, crossing into the Baptist church, is that a legal crosswalk?
In which way?
Who put it in? It just showed up all of a sudden, years ago. Okay, next question.
I guess we all know.
Midnight
The one with a spray paint
I'll
bottle.
talk to you later about it.
Tim, where?
I don't,
All I can say is it wasn't me. I wasn't out there with the
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah, that's just those, yeah.
it just showed up.
Okay.
Is there a ramp on both sides?
It's even wider. It goes right into a parking lot.
Oh, there's no ramp.
I thought that
There's
was
not a
another-
ramp on both sides.
Is there anything else you need to ask me about this?
There's no problem with icing.
No, sir.
All right, thanks.
So, again, I'm sorry, what was the timing of this? We have to wait until the school?
Contractor.
The timing on that
This is the
a
contract.
matter of, we're in the middle of designing it, we have to get the easements, once we get the easements, then the commissioners have to fund it.
And the easements are something that's granted. We don't have to, with the property owner can't fight us on that, right?
Oh, they can say no.
Yeah.
Because they own up until the pavement.
Well,
No, 5 feet, within 5 feet of the
Oh,
pavement.
fine.
Yeah.
but I would think if you own that property, that this is a,
My
This is an
understanding is,
improvement.
my understanding is the property owner has been very helpful and is interested in helping the town out.
yeah, I would look at it as an improvement, so.
Yeah. And just to the budget thing, this was already put in the FY25 budget, so once the budget is approved,
Oh, excellent.
it will be funded.
Awesome.
All right, now we got anything else? Before I
I
jump-
got one thing. Preston, you may have seen this already. On the corner of Wooten and Fisher, the extra turn lane. Somebody took that corner sharp and took out.
The posts have been
One
over.
of the, one post, the yellow post is up, the other one's knocked down.
Once a month now, it's taken out.
I bet it was a little easier this time, not all that water.
No,
and
they
mud.
even went down further. They went 5 foot down with concrete, and that truck still got it. So hopefully when that development gets put in, on the corner, that's all gonna go away.
We'll have the circle.
There'll be a traffic,
Even the circles, they're gonna move back, the fire hydrant's gonna be moved back no matter what.
That's all I had.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Preston. What do you got
Okay,
for us?
actually, it's been a pretty quiet month, except all the rain. That's got us, we literally, we already mowed because the first 2 weeks of March were 80 and the grass took off and now they got all the water, that grass is really taken, but I can't cut. Ball fields, we're behind on our ball fields because they are playable, they're not perfect. And we still needed a few more times dragging them. We're also waiting for, I ordered a couple loads of ball diamond mix because on ball field 3 on Hughes Road, they requested us to shorten the infield in a little bit so that field can be a 90-70. Because right now where the 70 bags are, there's grass in the base path. So we'll just run a sod cutter, back it off 3 feet, and then we'll be ready to go. But I have to, when I do that, I need to have ball diamond mix on hand. And the weather has put that delivery back because they can't mix it, because everything's too wet, put that ball diamond mix together. We've started some tree pruning. All of our beds are shaping up pretty good. I think it looks pretty good so far. And that's where we're at. We're just a busy time of the year. And we had a tree go down on his neighborhood this week. On the first storms that came through, we lost one of our big pear trees. Took care of that. And
Do you get summer help yet?
so far, I have 2 locked down, and I need one more. And these are my high school kids, so they're 3-month employees. And then I'm still chasing a 6-month employee. See what I can do on that. So things are starting to fall in line. And so actually, the one young fella, he was very involved with the skate park, getting that started.
Gabe?
What's his name? Gabe.
Gabe Herman?
Yep, he's gonna work for me this summer. Then we had a fella last year named Sam. He's going to college, but he recommended his brother to work, and if it's from the same family, I'm looking forward to having this young fella work for me. And and then we still have a few I have to contact to fill in. And like I said, I'm waiting for a 6-month employee. That's a tough one to fill sometimes.
Yeah.
A 6-monther. And I think I'm scheduled July 1st to actually have another full-time person added to my unit. So. And we put new soccer goals.
Maybe you hire that 6-month employee that can slide into that full-time
That-
spot? Maybe you hire that 6-month employee that can slide into that full-time spot?
We have one, he's working on his GED. If he doesn't get his GED, he can't get the position. So we've also, we had money in the budget. If you look at all the parks, all the wooden ballards have been replaced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we changed the shape of it. We made it a little friendlier because before they were very pointy. I mean, you couldn't sit on them or anything. So we put a pencil top on it now. And I think aesthetically, replaced all the chains and that, we did every part. And then we also had to add the fencing is done at West Willard Soccer Field now. So we had the one done, but now we got the other side closed in. And then that parking lot has the ballards in there. So that's all tightened up, all new nets in there. We got 2 rebuilt lacrosse nets we put in there last week. Got that all squared away. Like I said, new movable soccer nets and goals at Stevens Park. They've always been permanent, and they end up wearing holes in the ground. So now we can move it a little bit and let it, so we'll be able to do some maintenance a little easier with that. So that's done. Bathrooms are coming on at Helmo's. They're not going to be done on time. Weather got them a little bit, and so we had to get a couple porta-johns in there to handle it. But now they finally have the roof on. Things are moving. I think we need some electricity tie-in that's got to get done permitted-wise. So we're kind of stuck on that for a little bit. I was hoping April 1st, and so if I have to bet, it's going to be late May or June if we can get into that.
Are we done with the Wayland Commons update on the electric?
I think we're on board. I think the money will be there after July 1. The issue is we're trying to work out dates because we have so many events.
Yeah.
And so we're going back and forth and they're not set on it. My thing is, this is just me speaking, our last event is December 3rd normally, the Christmas lighting. That gives us the winter time to work on it, but that's not the ideal time to be cutting holes in the ground. But I don't want to have, all that, all of our events, I don't want to have open holes or trenches or, stuff going on. I mean, it just, I don't know, but they're trying to work that out to get an actual start date for that. I don't know if we went to bid, have we, John? We haven't put that out or anything, so. Like I said, we're trying to still work out a start date. We tried to move a few things in August, and it just didn't quite shake out. We got too many things going, so that's where we're at on that.
How long will it take, the project take, roughly now?
Depends on the contractor.
Depends on, well, it depends on how we write the contract too. But I would say 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
I got a question. I heard from your electrician, Seth, we're taking the trees down to do this power stuff? Okay, good, I'm glad he was, I'm like, what? I said, oh, that's Preston.
No.
Good, thank you. It came from Seth, you know Seth.
I don't know, Seth.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. He
Maybe
told
he's
me-
talking about the lights.
Preston said all the trees, no, he said all the trees are coming down. I'm like, okay.
Was that April 1st, Terry's asking?
No. That was a week ago. It was early.
Preston, what's the latest on, and you probably told me this 10 times already, closing that gap at the practice soccer field
We did that.
on West Willard near the tot lot?
We did do that.
Okay.
So we reduced it, it was a 21-foot opening, we reduced it to 7, because there's a trail.
Yes,
We
right.
also extended and reduced it at the same time, so the balls would get trapped in the corner.
All right.
So,
You guys
we
did
did that,
this
but on the other side,
So the goal net is moved?
no, not really, it's just, because it was a strange opening.
Yes.
And the balls, and with the sloping of the ground, it did funnel everything to the road.
Yes.
Now, it'd be tough to get the ball to go out.
Okay, swell.
But we also, since then, I suggested to Wade and Niles that we should, the other end of it, we should also put the fence on that end, which we did, which butts up against the property owner of the first house.
Oh, okay, right.
And then we put the ballards, because early last month, there were
Yeah.
some people with some four-wheelers and stuff on the field.
Drove on the field, yeah.
So,
If you walk over there, you can see
we
it.
eliminated, well, you can't fully eliminate because we do have a path, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway, we
They,
got
they did as much as they could.
Yeah.
right, and we have signage up there now, and we have the ballards in place.
That's pretty good.
It'd be hard for a truck to get through,
Okay,
but a four-wheeler, because if you have a path,
yeah.
they can make it.
Well, I mean, the whole point of that was, there was a concern that the little kids who were practicing on that soccer field
Chasing
would
the
run
ball
into the
out.
road and
That's been
chase the
addressed.
ball.
That's been addressed.
Okay, excellent, thank you so
Solid on
much. Thank you.
Shooting skills lessons. Jeff, do you got anything to?
I do have some, yes. The commissioners' meeting was moved to Monday, April the 8th, due to the holiday on Monday, April the 1st. I also want to mention about the Poolesville High School. So I attended the walkthrough of the new Poolesville High School on Tuesday, April the 2nd. The new Poolesville High School is bright and spacious. The classrooms are modern and equipped with the most up-to-date technology. There are 3 hub areas, one for each of the 3 magnet programs: global ecology, humanities, and third is science, math, and computer science. The new high school is about 50% larger in overall floor space than the old school. I also attended the clap-in this morning at 7 a.m. to welcome the students into the new high school. It was very, very positive, great energy. The clap-in was great fun, lots of positive energy with music provided by the Poolesville High School band. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is going to include replacing the auditorium and replacing the gymnasium and a couple of other smaller areas. The expectation is that phase 2 will take place during the summer break of 2024, so that any demolition and whatnot is not taking place while the students are in school. I also want to mention that there's a public hearing, regarding the Poolesville budget. The new budget starts on July the 1st, 2024, and ends on June 30th, 25. There's a public hearing on the proposed budget on Monday, April the 8th, at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall. Excuse me. The budget includes a tax increase. So I wrote down a little bit of an example here. If you have a home of assessed value, that's not the market value, but the assessed value of $500,000, then the property tax will increase by $39 a year. Okay, let's see, next thing. The last property tax increase was more than 20 years ago. Additionally, there's a budget, the budget also includes a 2% increase in the water rates. Poolesville water rates are still below the rates of WSSC. Next, there's a hydrant flushing which starts on hydrant flushing starts on April the 11th. The water department will be flushing hydrants during April to reduce and remove the accumulation of rust and iron in the water main lines. The flushing may cause discolored water from the loose sediment, and residents are advised not to wash white clothes during 24 hours following the flushing. There's a schedule. April the 11th is Elizabeth Light, Tama, Woods at Tama. April 15 is 16 Westerly, Bennett Way, Meadow Lark Manor, Hunters Run. April 17, 18 is Fisher Avenue, Meadow Valley, Wooten Heights. April 19th is Westmont and Wooten Woods. April 22nd is Seneca Chase, Sumner Ridge, and Stony Springs. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this at a previous meeting regarding the Western Montgomery County Community Center. I may have previously reported that I attended the Montgomery County Council meeting at the council chambers in Rockville when the community center was discussed and voted upon. The vote was unanimous to include the funding for the Western Montgomery County Community Center in the Montgomery County budget. No location has yet been decided. This is another great win for Poolesville and the surrounding communities. We also met with our Montgomery Council representative from District 2, Marilyn Balcombe. Marilyn said that getting the community center in the budget with a unanimous vote, was a big step. Regarding the water tower, the new water tower paint job is almost ready to be unveiled. And my understanding is that there's going to be an improvement in the pH in the Falcons logo. Is that correct, John? Okay. Let's see what else I have here. So,
Is it an inside joke? Privy to it? Or?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready. Well, there's a lot of laughing. Let's hear.
I mean, without getting into the heavy details of it, the decal, the mock-ups that we had, everything that we did got botched.
Okay.
And so we are redoing both sides of the water tower. The one side was just about complete, and the other side, the side facing high school, was, I try to keep my cool on this, but woefully bad.
So
we're gonna,
Okay.
John's been very helpful. He's given us some great parameters. There's a lot to learn about water towers, you guys, that that we've learned kind of as we go along. Most of it has to do with the face of the water tower versus where the knuckle, where it starts to bend, where the bend is, where the knuckle is, what degree of knuckle it has. Is it sharper? Is it harder? Is it rounded? All that, we kind of had to go back to the drawing board to figure out all that. The design's gonna be similar to what it is, what we've come up with, and I've got a couple of Booster Club members just kind of vet it out again, but likely on the football field side, it'll be the Falcon, and then the hole with the Falcon's written next to it. Don't make me do that again.
I know. I appreciated that.
Wait, is that the Falcon?
No, not the Falcon.
The Falcon.
The Falcon. The Vulture. And then the other one will still say, welcome to Poolesville, and then estimated 1867. But again, thanks to John's help and trying to take some measurements and do some things. In fact, I was just emailing with the designer on it now. What we did just got misinterpreted as it went down the line through the painter and the stencil maker for the paint. And it's just a.
Is that a town cost that we're gonna have to eat, or is that the?
No, we're talking about today with Wade, and, you know, that's, what I would imagine that we're gonna have some conversations about it, but, there's just no way in hell that we're gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cut all of the Parks Board members' salaries and the commissioner's salaries.
Down to zero?
No raise this year?
No raise.
Dang.
Anyway,
No.
to be honest with you, it's embarrassing how bad it is.
Oh.
So we're going back to the drawing board, and we're gonna make sure it gets done.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I thought that unveiling was supposed to happen.
I did too. I was like, what? When are we doing
Well, if it
this?
had been something that was acceptable, it would have been done already.
How'd you see it beforehand?
And I've been watching it like a hawk, like a falcon, and,
Or an eagle?
and we had, or an eagle, and then, I knew it was not going right, but I wanted to watch it just a little bit more as it developed, and, a couple people called me, that, Gina Grubb being one of them, and, a couple other people, they're like, you gotta get your ass over there and look at it, and, I did, and we, called John, and we put it to a halt that day. So, it's not good, but, water tower's gonna be painted for
Eh.
50 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta do it right.
Cool.
Thank you, that's my report.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all, thank you.
Jim, you got something to say up here?
I did. So Jim Brown, 19421 Fisher Avenue. right down the road. I'm just coming here today as both a commissioner and a citizen, and I know that's not fair to say that, but I'm here representing the commissioners as well as the citizenry that elected us. I just wanted to say and give appreciation to Jeff for his time of service on the Parks Board. And you've been an incredible member for a long period of time. We're going to honor you at the commissioner level, of course, at one of our meetings. But I wanted to say it up front so that we don't have to make it so all you guys have to show up to our meeting. I mean, of course,
Oh, please,
do
yeah.
the same thing. But I wanted to
You guys
say-
better be there. When then we're going for beers afterwards.
But I wanted to say, and we may be doing it on the 8th, but we'll get with Jeff and we'll let him know what we're doing. And I'll do it with no starter as well, but I just want to say up front, appreciate your service, Jeff, and you've done a great job for us. And, you would have made a hell of a commissioner, but you did a great job in the Parks Board. And we appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
19 long years.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yay.
Anybody got a motion?
You can make the motion.
Yeah, your last,
He can't go share.
motion.
You can make the motion.
You take care first, chair of the meeting, and then I can make the motion.
Oh, yeah, wait, how does it, we're electing officers next month, rather?
Next month, yeah.
Oh, do we know who the new person is?
So so the commissioners have not voted on it yet. That will be on Monday. So I was not going to reveal it until that time.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense?
Can Jim Brown tell
I'm
us?
assuming, is there only one candidate?
They have their
There was multiple candidates.
But you're down to one.
that way. And why don't we just say, Jim's there. Once you guys are done, you can.
Whatever's said off the record. Yeah.
Oh, Jim's leaving, okay.
Oh, we'll know by the, we'll know on the 8th. We'll know on the 8th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hang in there. It's not-
You making a
it's
motion?
not really yet because
Yeah.
we have to officially vote on it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, well, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Meeting.
Who got it, Pat? Okay, we are, my watch isn't even on, 8:25.
Wait, we don't have to vote on the motion?
Done.
Nope. Unanimous.